Hey everyone, and welcome to our walkthrough for Death Stranding 2 on the beach. We'll be covering this entire game and everything needed for the Platinum Trophy. And on this video, we're doing the first order called Return Home with Lou. Now, for those of you that might not be aware, this game was chosen by my Patreon supporters, just like all the games I play on this channel, so if you like what I do here and you'd like to throw in some support yourself, you can click the link down in the description below, become a patron, and vote on the games I play in the future. So anyways, let's get this started. The first thing we're gonna do is get a recap of the first game.
Perhaps you remember me. That's right. It's Dead Man. The world, as you know, is in awful shape. And it's all because of the Death Stranding. The dead started to find their way into our midst, crossing over from the other side. We call these entities BTs, Beached Things. When they came into contact with the living, the result was instant annihilation. A void out, leaving nothing but a massive crater in its wake. But that was only the beginning. Strange rain fell from the sky, rapidly aging everything it touched. A phenomenon we came to know as timefall. Structures would rust and collapse, and people grew old in an instant. The world transformed into something completely unrecognizable. Those who survived these changes came to fear both timefall and BTs alike. They withdrew into the remaining cities, which in turn closed their doors to outsiders. People ceased to travel and stopped meeting in person. They grew distant from one another and became further isolated. The social, cultural, and political bonds between humans began to crumble. The Death Stranding was hastening humanity's extinction. Seeing this, Bridget Strand, the last president of the United States of America, founded Bridges, an organization committed to making America whole again and providing a future for all humankind. However, Bridget died before she could realize this ambition. It was you, Sam, who took up her cause and resolved to see it through. Sam, the humble porter, who also possessed the unique powers of a repatriate, the one and only person who could save humanity. So with Bridges' Cupid in hand, and accompanied by the bridge baby Lou, you embarked on a journey across North America. Of course, you had struggles of your own, often phasmophobia, or the fear of being touched. The despair of having lost everything was just too much. But despite it all, you strived to bring people together. By extending the chiral network across the length and breadth of the continent, you would enable the rebirth of the United States as the United Cities of America. You were also to rescue Bridget's daughter, Amelie, who had been taken captive by terrorists. These were the vital missions you were entrusted with, Sam. We, your friends at Bridges, did everything we could to support your efforts. There was our director, Di Hardman, a close associate of Bridget, who was dedicated to fulfilling her final wishes. His commitment to American Reconstructionism was absolute, and for that he was named the first president of the UCA. And of course, Sam, the incomparable Dead Man, yours truly. I'd like to think we became the best of friends. As you may recall, I was born from an artificial womb, and over the course of my life was the recipient of numerous organ transplants. I've always got on with the dead. I used to be a coroner. Anyway, I pushed myself physically and mentally to help you and your BB, Lou. Mama and Lochna were twin sisters, as you may remember. Skilled scientists who developed the Cupid, which was essential for chiral network expansion. A personal tragedy caused the two of them to grow apart, but they've since reconciled, with both their souls residing in the same body. Hartman. Every 21 minutes, his soul departs his physical form, and for 3 minutes, his body is clinically dead. During this temporary death, his soul is sent to the beach. That's why he knows more about the beach and the Death Stranding than anyone else. His knowledge proved indispensable in the execution of your mission, Sam. Fragile, leader of the private delivery outfit Fragile Express. Exposure to timefall caused her entire body from the neck down to age significantly. It was the mark of a terrible betrayal. Higgs, a former comrade, used timefall as an instrument of torture, you see. To no surprise, Fragile was hell-bent on getting revenge. But after meeting you, Sam, she had a change of heart. As your friends, we would stop at nothing to see you succeed. But ultimately, crossing the continent was something you had to do on your own, with only Lou for company, and with no end to the forces that stood in opposition. Deadly BTs, unforgiving terrain and unpredictable weather, ruthless terrorists. The list goes on. Without a doubt, your greatest enemy was Higgs. Convinced that humanity deserved to go extinct, he kidnapped Amelie and tried to torment you and countless others. But neither he nor anything else could stop you from achieving your goal. The chiral network was finally completed. The bridge to the future was built, but your ordeal was not yet over. You had to learn the real nature of the Death Stranding, a secret that Amelie had kept hidden from us all this time, and a terrible truth you had to face. But you accepted this final revelation, Sam, and did what had to be done. America rose from the ashes as the UCA, and as the people celebrated your accomplishments, you carried out one final mission in secret, to save your BB, to save Lou. You removed the child from the pod that was their prison, and began a new life together. And so it was that the two of you vanished, without so much as a trace.
Okay, that's a recap of the first game, and now let's begin a new game. It's telling us not to have our console turned off when it's auto-saving. Always a good idea. We need to select our game difficulty. We'll be playing on Brutal. Recommended for those who want a real challenge to accompany the story. Completing the game at this difficulty level will test all your skills and provide a true sense of accomplishment. Your reputation will be legendary, and your standing as a porter unmatched. And we can change the difficulty at any time if we want to, but we will not be doing that. It is said that a person's birthday will indicate their path in life. Research has also shown that it can determine a person's experience of dooms. Enter your birthday and see what the future has in store. We'll do it. My birthday happens to be September 19th. Whilst dooms can afflict almost anyone, those born under constellations with a greater connection to the beach, including Cancer, Pisces, Cetus, and Delphinus, are said to be more susceptible to developing the condition. It is believed that such individuals are fated to walk a life path fraught with disquiet and turmoil. Once there was an explosion. A bang that echoed around the world, a phenomenon known as the Death Stranding. Beached things, BTs, lost spirits of the dead, found their way into our midst. When they came into contact with the living, the result was instant annihilation, a void out. Since most could neither see nor sense BTs, people lived in fear of them, withdrawing from the outside world. Cities became isolated, and humanity crept toward extinction. To unite what was left of America, a porter named Sam forged a bond with a bridge baby, BB, called Lou, who possessed a special connection to the other side. Together they journeyed west across the continent, reconnecting the people through the chiral network. But on the day that the United Cities of America celebrated the nation's rebirth, Sam and Lou vanished without a trace. Though UCA officials attempted to track them down, the pair's whereabouts remain unknown. "11 months later."
Me? I've always loved porters. Through freezing rain and biting wind, across rivers, mountains, and endless deserts. They come to deliver something priceless, a glimpse of a life I've never known. They're my window, my sole connection to the outside world. And I know they'll be back again, today.
Okay, time to head home.
The red bar indicates Sam's blood levels. The blue bar indicates Sam's stamina. Alright, we need to hold L1 to view destination. And you can press left or right on the D-pad, it'll focus for you. Return home with Lou. Proceeding along the ridge, use the left stick to move and the right stick to move the camera. Alright, we'll go down this ridge. Now, if you start to lose your balance, you can balance yourself with L2 and R2, which I just did. Otherwise, you're gonna wipe out and it's gonna be a bad time. Oh, talents. Alright, managed to not wipe out. Good. Let's continue on the ridge. Oh, we're going really fast. I must have activated sprint. Whoa, 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 whoa. Almost fell. Finding a safe route. Tap L1. Terrain scanner. These icons indicate terrain where it is easy to lose your footing. So we can check out the environment. There we go. And you can see we have a blood bag here. Let's pick that up. That is for healing. But our objective is that way, so we should probably follow this ridge. Yeah, if you want to sprint, it's L3, but on this type of terrain, probably best not to sprint unless you're really comfortable maintaining your balance. We're just gonna go at regular running speed.
Let's head home before it gets dark.
May as well scan the terrain again. But we've got a nice path to follow here on the ridge. And it's got helpful little footprints for us to follow.
I feel that.
A gatequake measuring 4 on the G scale has occurred. Big ol' earthquake. This one's much bigger. Hanging on for dear life. Oh. A gatequake measuring 7 on the G scale has occurred, and Lou's a little upset. We can check on him by holding L1. And then press down on the D-pad to soothe Lou. Hi, Lou. All right, so we're gonna move our controller up and down gently
You're all right.
to calm Lou down. Come on, Lou, it's all right. Lou's not liking my shaking. I'm not doing it very well. Let me try. There we go. A little bit faster. Lou, you're okay. All right, we'll stop soothing Lou.
Let's go home and get you fed.
Oh. Wait, I just... Okay, well, Lou's upset again. Lou, what's going on? You were just happy. Lou! What
Well, now
happened?
someone's in a good mood.
Lou! It's okay, buddy. There we go. There we go. All right, Lou's happy now. Okay, everything's under control. Let's keep going. How much further do we have? 770 meters. All right, we're not that close. Let's keep following the ridge, although some of it got beat up a bit. Not sure if this is gonna be the best path. But we can try to continue following it. We could also go down to the valley, which might be a better, yeah, that looks nasty over there. Let's go down. Let's go down this way. You can see there's an item down there. Let's go get it. Careful. Careful. There we go. All right, what do we have here? We got chiral crystals. Chiral crystals are made of a mysterious substance that becomes buoyant when assembled in bulk. Every 1,000 cg of chiral crystals that Sam carries will reduce his load by 1 kilogram. can see we got something else up ahead. Oh, we can also pick up a ladder. May as well. Carry that on my back. Using ladders, you can hold it with left on the, or right on the D-pad rather, and then ready it with L2 and place it with R2. But we'll deal with ladders later. What's this? Cryptobiotes. Eating cryptobiotes will restore Sam's blood levels. To eat a cryptobiote that's in your possession, hold right on the D-pad to open the weapon/tools menu. Then select a cryptobiote from the consumable section and press X to eat it. But we're full health, we don't need it. Alright, let's actually sprint. So we sprint with L3. We can safely sprint here at ground level.
Great. Rain. Gotta move.
The rain is coming down. Somebody set up a ladder there. But I don't want to go up to the ridge. Alright, environment's very flat. And our objective now 530 meters away. We're getting a little bit closer. Let's see, do we want to go to the right here or the left? I think either would work. We'll go this way. Oh wait, hold on, is this dead end? Nope, we can go through here. Oh! I hit that rock. Alright, maybe we'll slow it down in here for a moment. Make sure we don't trip on those rocks. Alright, here we go, and now it's opening up, but that rain's really coming down. Alright, we come up to a river. Where's our objective again? Over there. Oh, we're really close now. 250 meters. We're getting there. Using ladders. It wants us to use a ladder. Let's try it out. The weapon/tools menu. Use this menu to quickly switch between weapons and tools. Select the category with the right stick and use L1/R1 to cycle through your options. Finally, press X to equip or use your chosen weapon or tool. Sounds good to me. So we're gonna select our ladder. Aim it there, and ready it. Perfect, my first structure. Build your first structure, any structure, signs, ladders, etc. We did it. Now we can walk across. Fantastic, we made it. All right, are we safe to sprint again? I think so. I think so.
There, we made it.
Oh, now it tells us about sprint. A little late there, but cool. There's our objective right there.
Hey. Not bad, little porter. Not bad at all. Okay, Lou. Time for some nom-noms. Come on, open up. There you go. Who's there? Who are you? Fragile?
Were you cooking?
What are you doing here?
I've been looking for you. Wow. Lou's growing up fast. You two look good. Like a happy family. Here's a gift. The finest Carol printed diapers.
Thank God. How'd you track us down?
Your neighbor got hooked up to the Carol network. Service now extends to the whole region. I let myself in with this. You can use Carol printers now too.
Guess it's time we thought about moving. Maybe further south. You know, I'm surprised you used the front door for once.
My jumping days are behind me. Overdoing it left me with some kind of syndrome. They call it jump shock.
You care for a drink?
Thank you, but no. I should get straight to the point.
Business, huh? I mean, for a moment there, I thought maybe you wanted to catch up.
I have a job for you. Take it, and that whole mess over how you left Bridges will be wiped from the record. You won't have to live in hiding anymore.
What about Lou?
That's a little more complicated. We're talking about a Bridges asset. You'll have to work it out. Sam, you brought America together. Helped it be reborn as the UCA. But I'm afraid that Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger. Still on the brink of extinction. Don't act like you don't see it. A lot of things changed after you went off on your own. Especially within the UCA. Bridges no longer oversees the distribution network. They withdrew once things were up and running. So your friends and co-workers all went their separate ways. And that's not all. Die Hard Man is not the president of the UCA anymore. In case you're wondering who's handling distribution now, A Pass 4000 has revolutionized the whole process. It utilizes the chiral network to manage and carry out deliveries. Within network coverage, there's no need to rely on human porters anymore. And no need for Fragile Express, of course. So after I closed up shop, I went and started a new group. One that handles work in regions outside the UCA. We decided to call ourselves Drawbridge. And we still require the services of human porters that can work outside the network. Preferably ones with dooms who can sense BTs. Sam, I'm asking you to go to Mexico. To extend the chiral network to the south. Just like you did when you went out west.
You're asking, or is this coming from the UCA?
Both. The UCA came to Drawbridge, and now I'm coming to you. So, what do you say?
Are there BTs out there?
Mexico has no shortage of beached things. Spirits of the dead washed up from the other side were stranded there just like everywhere else. Any human corpse that hasn't been properly disposed of will become a BT. And any living human that comes into contact with a BT will get dragged into the depths of the tar. Giant BTs can and will emerge from the tar as well. And if they succeed in consuming a living human being, they'll trigger a void out, destroying everything nearby in a massive explosion. Several Mexican cities were wiped off the map in this way. The survivors have since become divided and isolated. As most people cannot see BTs, they live in fear of them, and that fear has made them too terrified to venture outside.
What's the state of the environment there?
Chiralium contamination is severe. Some areas have it worse than anything you experienced back in the UCA. The timefall storms are growing more intense as well. And, as you can imagine, everything in their path is subject to temporal acceleration. Objects and structures degrade rapidly, while animals and humans grow old and frail in the blink of an eye. Timefall often precedes the appearance of BTs there too. So you should do everything you can to stay out of it as much as possible. There are many other dangers though. The rivers can flood in an instant, and earthquakes happen daily.
Why me?
Seriously, why me?
There are several reasons I thought of you for this job. Deadman, for one. He's currently working at a lab in southern Mexico. I don't know the details, but the research they're conducting there is important. Very important. And there are certain things he'd like to tell you in person.
Any other reasons?
That was one reason. You got more?
I do. And this one's serious. There is some BT territory near that lab I mentioned. They monitor the chiralium levels, and recently, they've observed unusual activity. The cause is still unclear, but they seem to think there's a good chance a massive BT is headed their way. And if they're right, then I want you there. Ready to kill it before it kills them. Don't forget, Sam. You were the first person in the world to ever take out a BT.
Can I ask you something?
Guess that makes sense. But something's still bugging me.
What?
All this talk about extending the network into Mexico. Isn't the UCA basically expanding their territory? Taking control? Claiming it for their own?
Sam, it's not like that. They're not trying to take over the world. They just want to link up new areas with the chiral network. Like the internet before the Death Stranding. Public infrastructure to connect people. Which is why, instead of turning to an established government agency like Bridges, the UCA contracted a private organization, like ours, who then decided to employ the services of a freelancer like yourself. So please, Sam, won't you help us out?
I'll do it.
Yeah, all right.
So you'll do it?
Uh-huh. What about Lou, though? It's not like I can take my kid with me. If I do this, can you hold the fort for me while I'm gone? Play babysitter?
We're inside the network. There's a child care app I can use. It'll be fine. The lab is only a few days away. I promise he'll be back before you know it. Link up the region as you head south, and come home safe. We'll be waiting.
All right.
Go on. Slide it on your thumb.
Like a ring? Huh.
Try sticking your thumb out, like you're giving me a like. Access your ring terminal to view the map. From here you can check order details, as well as the cargo for delivery. Now then, let's review the mission that you'll be undertaking on behalf of Drawbridge. Your destination is a research lab in southern Mexico. When you arrive, you'll need to use the Cupid to connect it to the chiral network. Chiral communication utilizes the beach, where time barely passes. Using the Cupid in conjunction with the delivery terminal will allow us to initiate a zero-time massive data transmission. But because of the distance, it's not feasible to head straight to the lab to establish a connection. You'll need to use the way stations to extend network coverage until you're close enough to get the lab online. Your first stop is C1, Ciudad Nuda del Norte. Bring them a delivery and welcome them into the network. Improper corpse disposal remains a serious problem in Mexico. With every additional corpse that spawns a BT, the risk of a void out grows even higher. C1 in particular is struggling to handle this issue. But once they're online, we can give them the technology they need to address the situation. Why don't you take a look at the cargo you're carrying by opening the menu?
Okay, open the ring menu with left on the D-pad.
You can access useful information about your deliveries via your ring terminal. To review the cargo currently in your possession, select Cargo Management. This is the cargo you'll need to deliver. Be sure to get it to its destination in one piece. It's an excellent idea to place the most important cargo in your backpack.
Okay, we have a chiral network gateway, a device used for expanding chiral network coverage. It allows for stable and instant mass data transfer beyond the boundaries of the UCA. Since it contains chiral matter like the Cupid, it can only be carried by Doom's sufferers. So we're gonna put this in our backpack.
We've given you some additional equipment. It can be carried in pouches or in special hooks, just like cargo. All these weapons can be used to incapacitate humans without killing them. So there is no need to worry about causing a void out. Be sure to weigh your various options as you load up.
Okay, we have an assault rifle, an automatic rifle suitable for close and mid-range engagements, armed with MP bullets, effective against any target. The rifle also comes equipped with a light and has 2 modes of fire, semi-auto and full auto. We're gonna put that on our tool rack on the side. Okay, then we have a maser handgun, a handgun that electrocutes close-range targets. The trigger must be held down to build up an electrical charge before firing. It produces no sound, it produces no noise when firing, making it well-suited for covert operations where silent takedowns are a necessity. Can be stored in the handgun holster, which is where we will put it. Handgun holster. Then we have a blood bag. A bag of blood that will restore Sam's blood levels when connected. Empty blood bags will automatically be replaced by reserve bags. Can be stored in a utility pouch. Utility pouch it is. And then we have a ladder. A 10-meter ladder that can be deployed to scale cliffs or cross rivers. 2 ladders can be joined together to double their length. A deployed ladder cannot be recovered once it has been used. And we'll put that in our backpack.
Return to the menu when everything looks good to go.
Everything looks good to me. Well, we should look at our transporter boots. Ordinary boots, much loved by porters. They provide essential protection for making deliveries. And your boots can degrade over time.
Finally, before heading out, make sure to plot your delivery route. Return to the map. See your destination? There's a river you'll need to cross to get there. There are bandits in the area too. Armed groups that have attacked porters in the past. Think about what route you might take from your current location.
Alright. Plotting delivery routes. Hold square to draw, or to start drawing a route. Try drawing a route all the way to your destination. Alright, so we're going to draw a route.
Commencing route creation.
And we're gonna put a marker right here, because we're gonna go along the river.
When you plot a route on the map, you'll see what hazards you may run into along the way. You can face these challenges head-on, or try to find a way around them. How you get to your destination is up to you, but think it over before getting underway.
Okay, and at least for now, we'll plan to go through this, like, bandit camp. So we'll just go straight to here. Add a marker to the bridge. That's taking us through the camp. And then a marker all the way to C1. And we will end the route here.
Delivery route finalized.
Alright. Looks good to me.
Latest model Cupid. Just completed. We decided to put a hold on network expansion until it was ready to go. Like last time, you'll be using it to welcome people into a whole new world. It won't be any harder than before either. The chiral network terminals are ready and waiting. Bridges saw to that. Emily's expedition split into two groups midway. The first continued west, while the second cut south into Mexico. But again, they were only able to lay the groundwork. Until you bring those terminals online with the Cupid, the network can't grow. Hungry?
No.
No more baby food for you.
Let you get fragile any trouble while I'm gone. Don't you break my kid.
Now who wants to eat?
Okay. So, what's this? Checking your destination, hold L1 to activate compass mode. Yeah, we know about that. So, anyways, we completed our first order of returning home with Lou. And what we're going to do now for the remainder of this video is just take a look at essentially the database. It is called the Corpus. So, if you're not interested in this, then I would recommend just skipping to the next video. I'm just going to show each entry for a couple seconds, so for those that want to read it, they will have the opportunity to do so. So it says, the Corpus. In the Corpus, you can review the story so far, examine terminology, check the controls, and browse gameplay tips. The Corpus is divided into various tabs. Use L1 and R1 to cycle between them. Story, view the story so far and Sam's orders to date. Databank, view a glossary of in-game terms and tips and controls. Browse gameplay tips and view game controls. So let's get started. We're in story so far. We have bringing the research lab online. Then we have off the grid. And under order details, we have deliver the chiral network gateway to C1, which is our current order. And I don't know why that just jumped up. All right, then moving on, we've got the data bank. We've got an entry for Sam, for BBs. Bridge babies. Lou, our bridge baby. Well, really our baby now. Fragile. Die Hardman. Dead Man. And Porters. And the enemies, we have BTs. We had some fake ones outside of our home. And bandits, who we are going to be running into, I'm sure. As for our tech, we have the Odra deck, the scanning device that was showing us the terrain. It'll show us enemies as well and other things. Chiral printers. We have the Cupid, which we just received. And the ring terminal, which we also just received. And then creatures, we have the cryptobiotes that we can eat. Under abilities, we have Dooms, which is what Sam has. Cargo, we have the chiral network gateway, which we need to deliver for this particular order. As for our weapons, we have the Mazer handgun and the assault rifle. Fieldwear, we have our porter suit. And we also have our transporter boots, which, as I said before, can degrade. Our tools, we have a strand. Chiral crystals, which we picked up in the field. We have a ladder, which we use to cross that river. We have climbing anchors to help us get up cliffs. We have a canteen for restoring our stamina, which will Also refill on its own, or we can fill it up in Timefall or water. And blood bags for restoring our health. Organizations, we have the UCA. We have Bridges. Bridges' First Expedition. Fragile Express. And her new company, Drawbridge. The environment, we have the beach. Systems and initiatives, we have the chiral network. Oh, keeps jumping to the top. Stop that. And then we have the APAS 4000, or however they pronounce that. Phenomena, we have the Death Stranding. Void Outs. When BTs make contact with living humans and big explosions occur. We have Jump Shocks, which now Fragile is suffering from. And the Gate Quakes, which we experienced some of those on the way here. All right, that's it for our databank. Then we have tips. We have switching the camera position. We've got sprinting. We've got jump distance. I didn't do any jumping on the way here. At least I don't think I did. We have the Odredeck scanner. We have making use of compass mode. We can soothe Lou, which we didn't do that good of a job of. Had to do it twice. Bouncing instead of shooting. You can kind of pick what you prefer to focus on, whether you want to shoot the enemies, like prioritize shooting, or, you know, keeping your balance and not falling over. And adjusting camera behavior while aiming. Then delivery basics, we have the blood and consciousness gauges. So blood is of your health, and consciousness is, you know, people trying to knock you out, essentially. Replenishing blood levels with cryptobiotes or blood bags. Stamina and endurance gauges. Stamina is used all the time, and endurance is when you're under greater strains, like crossing a river, things like that. Restoring stamina. You can use your canteen, or you can rest. Refilling your stamina. We went over that before. We've got cargo management, which we just did some of that. Changing tools and field wear, which you can do in the field wear menu. Then we got photo mode. If you see something cool, you can take a photo. Sam's status, we have his endurance. When the environment takes a toll. Adrenaline rushes. When you enter combat, you get an adrenaline rush, which will rapidly restore your stamina, but it then depletes quickly after that wears off. We have chiral crystals, which will reduce our load weight when we get so many of them. We have Sam's stats. We have the social strand service. And we have bridge links. Then we have delivery techniques for beginners, delivering cargo safely. We don't want to mess up our cargo that we're trying to deliver. That will impact our ratings. We can arrange our cargo to better balance ourselves. Carrying cargo in your hands. You can carry some in your hands if you think that'll be beneficial. You can check for dangerous terrain with the scanner, which we were doing quite a bit. We can also check for terrain features. We got a handy dandy icon list here for different things that we might encounter. Searching for lost cargo. The scanner can pick those up as well and show you Sam's lost cargo or other people's cargo. Making use of compass mode. There's cargo damage, which we do not want to have happen unless it's cargo we don't care about. There's also container damage. And there's the footwear deterioration that we were talking about. All right, then we have delivery techniques advanced, stabilizing your cargo, organizing luggage quickly. So if you want to do things fast, you can do that with up on the D-pad for to open the cargo options. There's optimizing your cargo load. There's also an auto arrange that you can use. You can quickly change your field wear. There's stepping for when you brace yourself. You can step left, right, backwards, or forwards. There's sliding, but that will mess up your footwear pretty badly. And taking a break. If you need to get some of your stamina back, you can even massage yourself if you're in the right situation. And then we have delivery techniques, difficult situations. If your cargo is stolen, you can find it in a post box. If your boots break, you can put new ones on or use sandalweed. You might encounter impassable rivers, and you can illuminate dark places. All right, then combat techniques and weapons handling. We have quickly engaging and unequipping weapons. We have quickly equipping weapons in your hands. We have quickly discarding weapons. Popping out and firing from cover. And dodging while aiming. And then combat, we have unarmed combat. We can punch people. There's jump attacks, which are good at breaking block. There's tackles, which are really good at breaking block. You can use melee weapons. You can swing and throw cargo, but that will obviously damage it. So if you're going to do that, make sure it's cargo you don't care about. You can block enemy attacks. And then you can do a counterattack if you successfully block. You can also dodge attacks, dodge blows. You can parry attacks with a strand. And then even if you get behind an enemy, you can neutralize them. And then enemies block. Different ways you can potentially get through a block. Then we have stealth, focusing on distant things. We have detecting enemies. Remaining undetected. Crouching helps for that. Getting low. There's tall grass that you can hide in, but watch your cargo. It might give you away if you stack it too high. And binding enemies with strands. For structures, we have sharing information using signs. Cargo properties, if you abandon your cargo. And then we have different environment conditions. We have strong winds. We have the effects of night. We have the earthquakes that we experienced. We've got rivers that we can cross with ladders or just wading through. And we have tar pits and tar seas. All right, so that was a lot of stuff. We also have the basic controls we can take a look at right there. And there we go. That's everything in the corpus. So, with that, we're all done here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.